Hey, Preston! Don't forget to get him behind the ears. How you like that, huh? What's the matter, Mitch? Don't you like water sports?
A man with bare hands, unarmed, has just escaped from a police station. Behind him is the entire town police force in pursuit. Ahead lies only dense jungle and cold rocky mountains, a place where his hunters believe will be his grave, but in reality is the home turf of a war machine. To understand why this chase is happening, we must go back a few hours. John Rambo is a former special operative, a survivor of the hell that was the Vietnam War. He wanders into a small town bearing an ironic name, Hope. He didn't come here to cause trouble. He came to find his last surviving teammate from his old special ops unit. But all he receives is cold news. That friend has died from cancer caused by Agent Orange that the American military sprayed across the Vietnam battlefield. War doesn't kill them instantly, it kills them slowly after they come home. He walks down the road, no family, no friends. Rambo now has nowhere that belongs to him. Rambo enters the town only looking for some food, but right then, Police Chief Teasel drives by and immediately notices him. Simply because of his shabby appearance, Teasel instantly sees Rambo as trouble. Without valid reason, Teasel stops Rambo and orders him to leave. He drives him out of town himself, drops him off, and warns him, "Don't come back." But Rambo comes back, not to cause trouble, but because he has the right of an American citizen to walk on American soil. That action enrages Teasel. This time, he doesn't warn. He handcuffs Rambo, brings him to the station, and hands him over to his subordinates to handle. At the police station, everything begins to spiral out of control. They mock him and begin psychological torture. What happens next, we all saw in the opening scene of the video. And then, in a moment when they force him to shave the tortures, the nightmares from the old battlefield, all come flooding back into his mind. Rambo fights back.
You son of a bitch!
He escapes, rushing into the dense jungle with bare hands. Teasel frantically mobilizes the entire town police force in pursuit. He wants to catch Rambo at any cost, not for justice, but because his pride is wounded. The pursuit team enters the forest with trained dogs, rifles, and the confidence of those who are more numerous and better equipped. They don't know they've just stepped into the territory of a predator. The mountains and jungle are not Rambo's prison, they are his home. He moves like a ghost through the dense forest. Behind him, the trained dogs have caught his scent. Rambo is forced to run deeper into the jungle and is cornered at the edge of a cliff. There's no way back. He decides to risk climbing down the sheer cliff face. But a helicopter appears. The gunner above aims directly at Rambo and fires continuously. Below is a raging river. With no other choice, he's forced to jump. They think he's dead, but continue searching, wanting to see his body with their own eyes. And then, from the bushes, Rambo picks up a rock and throws it. One of Will Teasel's officers is dead. Now, this is no longer about pride. This is war. Teasel, in the name of a twisted justice, decides to hunt him down to the end. While the police continue searching, John Rambo has now activated all of his survival instincts. The police officers begin to break formation. Their mistake starts here. Soon, one by one, they fall. In the end, only Teasel remains unwounded. Before Teasel can fight back, a blade is at his throat. Rambo could end it all. But he doesn't want to kill anyone else. He just wants to be respected. wants to live in peace. After making that clear, he spares Teasel's life, then disappears into the forest, taking a police radio with him. Meanwhile, someone had come to the town of Hope before everything spiraled out of control. Troutman, the man who trained Rambo, who transformed an ordinary young man into the most perfect war machine. Troutman finds Teasel and speaks plainly. "You're playing with fire." The warning rings out like a last chance, but Teasel doesn't stop. His pride touched, he immediately calls in reinforcements. Dozens of soldiers, heavy weapons, surrounding the entire forest area. Through the radio, Teasel calls for Rambo to surrender for the good of both sides, but his real purpose is to find his location. He has Troutman speak to Rambo, using the radio signal to track down his hiding place. Rambo is startled to hear his teacher's voice, but he still refuses to surrender. Because all of this, he didn't start, they did. Finally, they locate Rambo. The next morning, the soldiers advance deep into the forest, surrounding his hiding place. They give him 3 seconds to come out. No response. And then, a rocket is fired directly into the cave entrance. Teasel and the National Guard stand outside, looking at the rubble, and believing it's all over. No one could survive that. They're wrong. In the dark mine, Rambo still breathes, wounded, exhausted, but alive. In the darkness, he finds an old drainage tunnel. He crawls through the freezing water, through narrow passages so tight he can barely breathe, and finally emerges outside the encirclement. Night falls. The town of Hope sinks into darkness and complacency. They think Rambo is dead, but then Rambo appears, not in the forest, but right in the middle of town. Driving a military vehicle he seized that morning, he barrels straight into the heart of Hope like a firestorm. John Rambo didn't come to kill, he came to destroy. The gas station bursts into flames, storefronts shatter, power lines are cut. The entire town descends into chaos, fire, smoke, and darkness. And even now, he still doesn't kill anyone. Teasel tries to stop Rambo from the roof of the police station. He opens fire. Rambo fires back. Teasel is hit, falls down, badly wounded, but not dead. Before him is Teasel, lying helpless. Just 1 second. It could all end. And then, Troutman walks in. He looks at Rambo, the spiritual creation he had made, the man he had trained, then sent into hell, and now he must face the consequences. Troutman speaks, softly but decisively, telling him to stop and end it. It's over. That's when Rambo breaks down. Everything he's held in all this time explodes. He didn't want this to happen. He talks about the war, about what he saw, what he endured in Vietnam. He talks about coming home, a soldier who served his country. But when he came home, he was cast aside. Troutman embraces Rambo. The war machine collapses in the arms of the one who created it.